If you run a non-profit organization, if you're working on a mission that feels personal and important to you, please watch this video to the very end. I'm going to be showing you how to transform your fundraising and how to raise money consistently for your non-profit organization. Right now, you may be finding it hard to raise money for your mission. It may feel impossible. You are sending out emails, you're posting online, even applying for grants, but the money isn't coming in. But here's the truth. It's not your mission, and it's not that people don't care. It's because you don't have the right fundraising system in place. But imagine you are able to raise 6 to 7 figures consistently, and you're able to focus on your impact while the money keeps coming in. Well, this is possible for your nonprofit. My name is Rooney, and I've spent years helping nonprofit founders and fundraisers fix their fundraising problems. I have built, tested, and proven frameworks that help nonprofits move from struggling into well-funded organizations. And the best part, it doesn't take years. It only takes a few days. But here's the problem. The reason fundraising feels like a struggle is because, one, you're chasing the wrong people, or two, you don't have a repeatable system you can follow. The problem most times is you find that you're winging it. You're trying to, chase the next fundraising trend. You're trying to execute different fundraising strategy without a repeatable system that can actually help you create the results that you seek. Think about this. The big organizations, the successful organizations don't do this. They have a system, they know their audience, and they go after them. But small nonprofits, you find that you're always struggling, you're hustling, you're trying to chase the next trend, and that's why fundraising feels like a big hurdle. But there are 4 steps that you can take today and begin to transform your fundraising experience and begin to, move into the class of organizations that raises 6 to 7 figures. The very first step is clarity on your ideal funders. You need to know the right audience for your nonprofit organization. For every mission out there, there are a million people already in tune with that mission that's set aside to fund that very mission. You just have to find them. You can't get everyone to fund your organization, and this is why you find yourself begging, trying to convince, and over explaining just to get funded. But when you meet the right people, the people with the propensity, the affinity, and the capacity to give to your mission, the people who already have an established reason to give to your mission, you only have to invite them in to become partners. So the very first step is you gaining clarity on who your ideal funders are and building a list of these ideal funders. The second step is you creating a fundraising plan. Like I said, you need a repeatable process to raise money consistently. And not a process you have to think off the top of your head, but a well-documented process you follow day in, day out to raise money. And that's what we call the fundraising plan. Because, of course, when you reach out to people for the first time, you shouldn't ask for money. You should know this already. Knowing this means you have to have a system that you have to follow from the very first time you talk to them to the point where you get them to give to your organization. And that's what a fundraising plan encompasses. With a solid fundraising plan, the next step is to have a team that works with you to execute that plan. Like I would always say, fundraising isn't a one-man show. You need a team. It could be a team of 2 people, 3 people, but you have that support that's working with you to ensure you bring in money consistently. It could be having someone who's good in email marketing, having someone who helps you with grants. And I know organizations that are just starting out may not have the luxury of employing people, but of course you can't start with volunteers and then scale as you grow. And then the fourth step of the process is executing your fundraising campaign consistently. You now have a step-by-step plan. You need to follow that plan on a daily basis to raise money for your organization. With these four steps in place, you can begin to raise money consistently for your organization. First, knowing who your ideal funders are. Next, having a repeatable system that you follow to bring in money. Next, building a team that's going to work with you as you reach out, right? And then lastly, executing your fundraising campaign consistently. This is the framework that you need to follow to raise money consistently for your organization. Now, picture this. In 12 months, instead of scrambling for donations, you have a ready, right? A system that's running and, bringing in money consistently for your organization. Instead of you stressing out, instead of you running your nonprofit like a one-man show, you have become a leader that can be able to create results working with a team that's bringing in money consistently for your organization. That transformation is possible, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Now, if you're ready to make this shift, I have two clear options that can help you set up your fundraising immediately so that you can start creating the results that you seek. You don't have to sit on this, because for every day you sit on this, you're losing money and your organization will keep struggling. But if you take action in a day, in 2 days, you can set up your organization for good and begin to raise money. You don't have to wait for years or wait months to be able to do so. So the very first is what we call the funding blueprint. This is a self-paced program where you get the clear instructions and the tools you need to set up your fundraising system like right now. We're talking about the tools and the instructions you need to identify your funding audience, the tools and the instructions you need to be able to create a list of these audience so that you know the people you're reaching out to, the tools and instructions to be able to create a step-by-step engagement process to be able to get them to give, the tools and instructions to identify which people do you need to bring in as part of your team and how to work with them to execute your fundraising process on a day-to-day basis. And with these instructions and tools, you can set up your fundraising system like right now in a day, and you have your organization, ready to start raising money. The second step of the process is where you get to do this with me. In a day, we'll both come together and we'll map out who your ideal funders are. We'll map out, create a list of these ideal funders. Together, we're going to map out a step-by-step engagement process that gets them to say yes every time, so that you don't send out emails that you don't get response, or you don't reach out to donors and you get nope. We'll set up a system that gets you yes every time you reach out to donors, and then we'll identify your team. We'll start the process of bringing in these team members, and by the next day, we're launching out your fundraising campaign, because we're going to build your execution materials together, from your proposals to your case for support to your fundraising appeals. Like, this will set you up right now so that you can start raising money immediately, because the truth is, fundraising is not a magical experience. It is a product of deliberate effort, and it's about you putting in the work. That's what's going to create the result, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to set you up so that we both go in, and then you put in the work and you start seeing the result. And not just that, I'm going to be available for you to provide you that support as you begin to execute, so that you can begin to see the result. So if you're ready to take action, just click the link below. You can grab the $97 funding blueprint so that you can get started on your own if you are a self-starter. Or you can use the link below to book a free call where we'll both map out what we'll do together, and then we can get started on a choosing time when you're ready to get started. The spaces for this opportunity is quite limited, because I can only work with a handful of funders over the next 1 month. So I would say take action now so that we can get started right away for your organization. Do not sit on it, because every minute you sit on your organization struggling, that's time running away. That's money you're leaving on the table, and that's you, reducing your confidence, which may affect your mission. So I look forward to engaging with you. Take action and let's get started today.